Hi everyone, and welcome back as I continue my review of The Prisoner. We are now in the closing stages of The Prisoner. This is the final two episodes. So obviously this is episode 16. Once Upon a Time. So let's press straight on. This episode opens with the butler in number two's Green Dome office, putting out coffee and breakfast, and ignoring the odd thing. The odd thing being, Rover looks very snug in number two's chair, fits him like a glove, and then number two appears. Yes, it's Leo McKern's number two. He's back. And he is disgusted. You could see it in his face. Absolutely disgusted that he has been brought back to the village. And the first thing he does is get on the red phone and he has a go at the person at the other end, and he says, "You can remove that thing too," referring to Rover. So Rover departs. He then goes on to say, "You are using the wrong methods, the wrong approach, the wrong everything." And the only way you are going to get the answers is you do it my way. From there, he puts the phone down and he looks at the progress report of number 6. And he's, not very happy about it. Because they're getting nowhere with number 6. So he gets back onto the red phone and he demands a process called Degree Absolute. This process will be a head-to-head between himself and number 6. He's granted Degree Absolute, but he's only given 1 week. He's not happy about that, but nevertheless, he accepts it. And from there, he visits the supervisor and informs the supervisor it's Degree Absolute. And the first thing they do is they view number 6 in his bed, and that they're messing around with the harmonic sound. And the supervisor says 3 times, counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But the third time, number 2 tells him stop on 5 and hold on 5, and he does that, exactly that, and then number 2 departs to number 6's residence, because number 6 is going back to his childhood. He's going right back to his childhood to be grown up again. Yeah, I know that sounds a bit odd, but there you go. So, obviously, now number 6 is in a child state mind and is taken to number 2's office. And this time, you see number 2 with number 6 and the butler all go down one level. And that level contains a room called the embryo room. And this is the beginning of the psychological battle between number 2 and number 6. Number 2 is determined, absolutely, to get the answers out of number 6. And so number 6 is sort of grown up again. He goes through the school, college, and so on. Every so often, number 2 sort of has a quick go at him. "Why did you resign?" And this is met with number 6 being rather hostile. So that doesn't quite work. He also tries the safeguard method, same to number 6, count alternating into numbers, which number 6 can't. He says, 2, 4, 5. It's like a safeguard method for number 2. It's safeguarding him so he knows that number 6 is still under his control. So, yeah, this process gradually goes on. He's not getting the answers, obviously, and we see sort of the life story of number 6. He was very good at boxing, and also he was very good at fencing. And what happens in the fencing duel between him and number 2 is that number 2's pinned up against the door. The saber tip comes off the saber, and number 2 says, "Go on, I dare you." And number 6 lunges at him, but he only injures number 2. And then what happens? And from there, we now reach the point which is probably more of an interest to number 2 in number 6's life. This is where we reach the point where number 6 now is recruited into the world of spies. So he goes through all this process with number 2, like a bank job, but the bank job is not real, it's a cover. And, he's feeding into number 6, top secret, big secret, ultra secret. And then he uses his safeguard method again. Number 6 departs the meeting. He's got the job in the world of spies, but he's intercepted by a police officer. Remember, though, this is all going on in number 6's mind. As far as number 6 is concerned, this is all real that's going on. So he's up against the judge. Again, number 2 states to number 6, "You are a unit, you are a member of the village," in which number 6, uproars, because he does not recognise this. And again, a little bit more of number 6's history. He served in the war. So they go through this process of being on board a bomber, and then they have to bail out. And then finally, we now reach the climax of the episode, where number 6 is counting and he's stating 6. Oh dear. It seems that number 6 is back. He's back to normal. And this, to number 2, is disaster. And number 6 states to number 2, "This is a recognised method, degree absolute." So even number 6 has knowledge of this method that's being used. And slowly but surely, number 6 now turns the tables on number 2. Number 2 is showing number 6 around the embryo room, and he's talking about the whole place, obviously. And what happens really is the tables are slowly turning against number 2. He even gets locked up at one point, which concerns number 2, but is then released. And then we enter the final stages of the countdown. Time is now definitely running out for number 2. It's running out big time, and he still has not got the answers out of number 6. Why did he resign? Throughout the whole event, he's been asking him, why did he resign? And number 6 has not said why. And this comes finally to the grand final. And it's a bit of a peculiar scene. Number 6 is taunting number 2 and basically saying to him, "Die to die." And that is exactly what happens. Number 2 keels over and dies. Number 6 obviously inspects number 2 for a pulse, and he cannot find a pulse. And then the door opens to the embryo room, and in steps the supervisor, congratulating number 6. Number 6, of course, is absolutely disgusted because he throws down the glass of wine. He really is disgusted. I think he's disgusted at what he did to number 2. And of course, the supervisor asks the question, "What is your desire?" To which number 6 obviously answers number 1. And the supervisor says, "I will take you." So the supervisor, number 6, and the butler all leave the embryo room. And that is where this episode ends. So without further ado, let's crack on with my final thoughts on this one. Okay, my final thoughts on Once Upon a Time. Well, what an episode. It really is. What an episode. I strongly feel of this episode that this episode should have been the final episode of The Prisoner. I think The Prisoner would have gone out on a much higher note. Yes, there would have been a lot of unanswered questions. Granted, yes, I accept that. But nevertheless, I think it would have gone out on a much higher note to end it as it did. But nevertheless, that wasn't to be the case, was it? And yes, obviously I'm going to get my final thoughts on the final episode on the next video. So yeah, Once Upon a Time is, as far as I am concerned, is a very good episode. It's a very intense battle of mind games between number 2 and number 6. It really is intense mind games. And from what I understand, the making of this episode, both actors, Patrick McGowan and Leo McKern, both suffered mental breakdowns. Leo McKern's was a bit more serious because there was delay in filming the final episode of The Prisoner. So you can see how tense this particular episode was. Yeah, definitely very tense. And it's a really good psychological battle as number 2 tries to probe number 6 for the answers, and slowly but surely number 6 comes round, turns the tables on number 2, and of course it ends in tragedy for number 2, which I get the impression definitely from number 6, he was disgusted at taunting number 2, taunted him to die. He was disgusted. That really does come across. Yeah, so we have a victory for number 6. And it is a victory that will lead us to the final episode, because, well, all will be revealed on the next one. Yeah, great episode. Fantastic. And on that note, I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day, and as usual, be seeing you.